and it's time to get busy working on my little smart contract idea, or it's not an idea per se, but rather um, a smart contract mini project. Let's call it that. Let's call it mini project. And so it is a part of my ongoing series about solidifying my skills in test-driven development, which I think is a good good thing to do if you want to become really good at programming. And so that's what I aspire to. And let's see if we can get smarter. Now, I was doing a little bit of a few streams, a few workshops, as I call them. The first one was about very basic testing in JavaScript, something we refer to as unit testing. Well, it's not basic per se, but it was a very simple workshop I did initially that was using Mocha and Chai. I just created one single function, like a person class, and I wrote a few tests for that. I also introduced sign-on to create spies, and spies are sort of observable for functions, and we can assert whether a function has been called when something is being performed. Then I did a stream on acceptance tests in JavaScript based applications. I wrote a very simple JavaScript based, just pure HTML JavaScript based little app. I don't even think there was any CSS involved. So that was it. Then I scaffolded an API, a very simple API using Express.js. Actually, I can just add that Express.js, and tested the backend. And then I was planning to do a session on unit tests in React, which are called component tests, because components in React are like regular functions. The only difference between a function in JavaScript and a component is that a function returns some data, whereas a component returns a bit of user interface. So these kind of tests are pretty similar to unit tests, although they are written in a using different tools, and I'm gonna use Jest and React testing library for that. But I never got that far because I woke up on Saturday morning, or was it Sunday? Can't remember. And I thought for myself, why don't I go on and take a closer look at smart contracts, blockchain? So I did that, and that's exactly what I will continue on doing today. And the contract that I'm planning to deploy or to work with, and perhaps build a little, a dApp around, is a smart contract that will regulate the events or the things happening between a service provider, like a seller of a service, and somebody who wants to order or purchase or procure that particular service. So I kind of wrote up this, bullet. Well, not the numbered list, it's a numbered list, Thomas, right? I kind of came up with this numbered list with some ideas of what could happen. I should probably look into writing up like a flow diagram or something, but I haven't gotten this far yet. Again, this is just for learning purposes at this point. Where a service provider issues a smart contract, like a purchase order or something, for the buyer then can use that contract to initiate like a purchasing process, and he orders a service, for instance, 10 hours of software development. And I was considering whether I should have a deadline or not, but I haven't gotten that far yet. At the smart contract, and an event, that is like initiated, is triggered, that allows the service provider to review the order. And I'm not on board with what events do in Solidity or in smart contracts yet, but I'm exploring that. And the service provider then looks at that and says, okay, you want to purchase 10 hours of software development, so you can get a tender offer or like a quota, and sends that order price, and the buyer receives it through an event called tender, if we're going to use events. We'll see. So that tender can be presented, and then somebody can accept or reject that tender. Well, the buyer can reject or accept that. So we're gonna, and then if the buyer accepts tender, right? So we're just gonna price. I guess the tender can not only include price but also other conditions. And other conditions, question mark perhaps. We don't need to have that in bold though. And if tender is accepted, the service provider issues an invoice. Right, and then the buyer, once the invoice has been sent, or request for payment or whatever, then the buyer transfers the funds to the smart contract. So the smart contract itself will hold that money, and then the service provider performs the service, hands over the deliverable result, like a piece of software or some code or whatever he's doing for that money, and then we just say that, okay, so now the deliverable has been delivered, and the buyer either accepts or rejects that. I don't have a clue what will happen when we reject it. Not yet. I haven't thought of that yet. And then if the buyer accepts the delivery, then the smart contract pays out the service provider for the order. This is the general idea of that smart contract. So far, we'll see where we end up. And I actually coded on this the other day. So let's see, I have it on my own. Do I have it on my own account? Yeah, I think I have it on my own. Right, so I can see that I have this testing workshops repo, which contains the code for the previous sessions that I've done. And I have a feature branch that is called purchase order contract, and that's where I have this smart contract code. Should you want to check it out, you're free to do that. So there it is. Here's the link to that thing, if you want. Now, the idea is that I will continue to code on this a little bit, a bit of recreational coding. I will be around for approximately an hour and a half perhaps, and see what we can come up with. So let's see if we can get any smarter. I'm just gonna pull this thing up. There we go, and then CD testing workshops. Right, so git status. Right, I have a few changes here. Why do I have that? Right. So last modified, this is else. Right, so I have an if-else statement here. But this should bytecode. Okay, so that's probably, do I really need this under version control? Purchase JSON. Okay, right. So git CIAM small refactorings. Small refactorings in contract logic. It's actually the initiate function logic. There we go. So if we just do yarn test, which is the command for running my automated tests. Yes, right. So sorry, I need to be in here. Right. ls. Don't we have yarn? Oh, really? I didn't have a test command for this thing. So let's just pop this open like this, right? Okay. And I have my test runner here, so I can just run this from within my I can run my tests from within my VS Code, which is something that I like. Right. So the idea here, so you know, we have a very rough if-else statement here, and we don't want this if-else statement. What we want to do is to say this. So we want the message sender to be the buyer address, else we want to do something here. But this one will actually invoke another contract, I think, because when I run this test, and I'm going to run the whole suit now, just for the sake of it, we are getting an error saying that it can't estimate gas price for this. And so that's not gonna fly. So I need to research this function now. As one of my followers, Subsidian from Seattle, he actually suggested this, and that was at the end of that particular stream, so I couldn't really get into that. But my first task of today will be to learn more about this way of using a conditional in Solidity. So that will be the first task of today. Right. So Solidity require conditional, for instance. Right. Let's see if we can figure what is the difference between if and require in Solidity. Right, it's just a conditional execution of do something block, so if the condition is not met, the do something block is skipped, but the execution moves to the next line after. You use require when you wish to revert the entire state changes so far in the function if some condition is not met, for example. So I can just skip the second argument. I will go over to the control structures documentation. Right, but before we do that, I can just remove the second argument here and run the test. I will probably just stop running the entire suite with just one of them. Transaction reverted without a reason. So this is raising an error. But why would this happen? Random while and cannot, so before each hook for is expected, cannot estimate. Right, so I'm just gonna Google this particular error message before I go into this documentation. I will go into that documentation just in just a second. Not sure if this is a relevant error message. I was reverting your comment in my transaction. Just to mention the recently popular tools. Yeah, but what does you? For example, does your contract have something in the constructor or is delivery that could cause a fail? Basically, when deploy. So but really, let's see, token ticket supply token. Right. Let's see, where's my tests? Let's just close all of this and let's just do tests, not scripts, sorry, tests, purchase test. Right, so we want to deploy, so the subject contract is buyer service provider. Could we just pass in the gas limit? I don't understand. No. Let's just have a look here. So where are we? We're not in. So that's in expressions. Let's go to the freshest. No. Okay. So let's just go to the first one, right? And expressions and control structures. Most of the control structures curly breaks language are available. If else while the break, continue return. Right. Solidity also supports exception handling in the form of try catch, but only for external function calls. Right. Function calls, external function calls. Warning. Named calls. Right. So Solidity uses state reverting exceptions to handle errors. Such an exception undoes all changes made to the state in the current call and flags an error to the caller. When exceptions happen in subcall, they bubble up, meaning the exceptions are rethrown automatically unless they caught with the try catch. Exceptions to the rule are sent and right delegate right, panic via assert and error via. The convenience functions assert and require can be used to check for a condition and throw an exception. So can we just use assert rather than? The assert function creates an error type of panic. The same error is created by the compiler as is listed below. Can we see some examples? It is currently not possible to use custom errors in combination with require. Revert. If you use revert or revert description. If you an error string exception. So right, Solidity require and revert example. I need to see this in assert require. Right. Right. Already. Here we go. Sorry. Right. Explain the problem. I'll explain the problem with functions solve, discuss the solidity patterns for error handling in solidity, on the way throw and the if throw pattern. Address and function superpowers message sender equals owner throw. Do something only the owner should be allowed to do. Okay, so that's exactly what I wrote, right? I used an if statement. If the use of supervised function is called by anyone other than the owner, the function will return returning. Yes. Leave after throw. Let's look at the if throw. If message sender, this line currently behaves exactly the same way as the following. Revert, assert, require. Right, note that the assert and require example, the conditional statement is an inversion of the if block. Right. Switching the comparison operator. Right. What are the differences? Why do I have to log into Medium? I don't want to log into Medium. Really? Why? Okay. What the but revert require. That's what it sounds like. This requires something bad happen. The Solidity doesn't support this return while we are yet, but you can watch this issue for that. Refund the remaining gas to the caller. Oh. Right. Right. So if revert and require both refund and any leftover gas, but okay. So apparently the problem that we are facing is just in test environment then, right? Manual or transaction may fail, cannot estimate gas. Okay, so only I will just say you can't perform this operation. Right. And that is the problem, is of course that this will simply not work, right? So if I just say dot only here, oh shoots, dot only here, and we run this, we should get that error again. And the problem is not the way I use it, but the way we're setting this up in test environment. So Solidity waffle cannot estimate gas, right? Ether calling of function. Ether choosing. Testing. We need to estimate. Trade price. Send. So he's just using if statements here, and he's using revert. And how old is this? This from 2018. No, so that's not gonna fly. But so waffle gas limit, gas limit. Some remove deploy contracts. Gas raising gas limit, use it as default system. Right, so that didn't fly. Okay. Gas limit. Block gas limit. The block is Hardhat blockchain default value. Right. Right. The value should be auto or a number. If an auto, if the number is used, it will be the gas limit used by default in every transaction. If out is the same as block gas limit. Poof. So should I just set this? Is this the solution to that error of mine? That I should just set the gas price and just set it to auto? Could that be? No. Wow. Gas price. Let's say 12. Let's set a numeric value on this. I hate to get into this kind of. You can't perform this operation. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Waffle. Wow. I wasn't prepared for this sort of errors at all. Can we just... Okay, so can we just do this then? If... Can we just say... let's comment this one out. And then we just say if this, then we just say revert like this. Is this even... Well, apparently it is not. Oh, tack så mycket. Tack, tack. That's definitely not... revert is not... Well, why? Revert. Require. So, okay, can we just say assert rather than require? Can we say assert? And then this. Okay, let's try that. Let's try assert. I just... Okay, so that's not that. That's not that. Okay. So let's do this then. Why are you giving me... Right, and let's try this. Okay, random wallet. It's explicit. Random wallet cannot initiate the purchase, and it's expected to set the contract status to remain in deploy status as deployed, remain in deployed status. Okay, but so yeah, because we are doing this in the random guy, right? So we connect a random guy, which is not the guy, random wallet, sorry, which is not the wallet that the buyer has. So we have that here. We're connecting the buyer, so that's good. That's what we want. This is the good. This is the happy path. And here we don't want that to happen, so we just connect the random wallet to the contract, and we invoke this initiate function that we wrote, and the required service is this. Right, and so we are apparently not doing, because if message sender is not the buyer address, right, if this is not the buyer address, then we revert. Okay, that's logic. Otherwise, we do this. Okay, so let's see. Right, and we get the same problem with the transaction. Right, so this, it has no bearing at all, so we might as well just say assert this, that this guy is not, assert that the sender is the buyer address. This is the proper way. And again, I'm getting the same error in my test environment with all of this, and I haven't seen this before. For each hook for each results, cannot estimate gas. Transaction may fail or require manual gas limit. Manual gas. I don't know how to do this. I have no fucking clue. No clue whatsoever. And since I don't have a clue, and I don't have anyone to talk to, chat, please help me. Right. We need to revert to. But see, people are not testing. People are not testing. Solidity, waffle cannot estimate this. But these guys are not in. These guys are not in test environment. Oh, here it is. Box, const box, attach. Tree, display. No, that's not what I want. Contract, new contract address, ABI wallet, await contract, my transaction. At first, oh, the real error is that the account sending the transaction holds the ether. My transaction. Then, can you confirm if any obvious require statement might be failing? Just to mention, there's a popular tool of debug on chain contracts called Tended. Right. We don't want to go there yet. I tried a different environment as well. But as you see, when you run contract mate ethers JS, there's two arbitrary node internal. It makes an estimate gas that you're getting. I don't think the gas system requires to have enough Ethernet. Since estimation was successful, it's actually, which means that your TRX is probably reverting. Reason. Right. So, gas deploy. Bypass ethers attempting to estimate gas and force using data mode. These are usually indicated the contract deployment will fail. So it may, however, sometimes estimation incorrect guesses deployment will fail. Right, so right, let's have a look at All right, let's go to waffle. Test. Right, Suite 2 smart contract testing. Yes, Suite 2. Documentation. And let's see if we can just see anything. Searching. Cannot chai matches. Migrate fixtures. Basic testing. Deploy 3 contacts. Wallet address and 1000. Contract constructor arguments. But we've been here before, so this is not waffle documentation version. Right. Right. That wasn't much. Initial example test contract ethos deploy basic wallet 2 wallet 2 mock provider get wallets. Right, mock provider from Solidity from Ethereum waffle. Okay. Right, deploy counter wallet basic token. Right, 1000. That's the thing. Balance of wallet address. Right, let token into token. Right. Transfer ransom amount. That's emit token. Wallet address 7 to emit token transfer with args. Well, right. Asset. No asset. Revert. Expected. Yes. Yeah, this is a nice one, right? This is a nice matcher actually. So we could, and so we could see it is expected to be reverted with message, and so we can expect contract. I don't know if you can do that. So that will, but this will not work because it will get the same error message as I did before. But I want to use this matcher later. I like the matcher. It seems like a custom matcher for this revert thing. I'm not using revert so far. Yeah, and it gets the same thing. So again, this is not a fixtures contracts token ERC all right. 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 So why will we get cannot estimate gas transaction with a manual gas limit? Set. Can we say waffle set manual clamp? I don't. Oh shit. Right. Truffle. This is truffle, so this is not us. Gas. Should just. Right. Let's Hardhat config. I don't know. Do I have to? I don't know. Transaction ran out of gas. Okay, so this actually had some requires at least, but got 50. So I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Right, no. And if we set this to auto, it's the same thing. Gas price. Can we just say gas price? Gas limit. Can we set gas price as a? Do we have that? No. No, we don't have that here. I don't get it. Chain ID in this, and this is all empty. I don't understand that. Woof, 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 woof. I might be in totally wrong place here. We have a gas here in local hosts. Get block latest gas limit. Get block gas limit. Wow. Hardhat gas limit or estimate. Gas reporter. What is that? A Mocha report result method rather than right. Gas usage per unit test. National currency costs of deploying. Yeah, well, that's nice. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Luke. Let me know if you want to join in into the chat or if you're busy. I'm in a bad place at the moment, my brother. So I need some moral or mental support or something. Right. Code unpredictable. Error VM exception web processing transaction revert. Error. Sure thing, that would be nice. It's good that you're working on the RPS. Let me just right. There you go. Should be a link in your chat. Rightio. Good evening.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm barely hanging in there.
Know the feeling.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I've been. I watched the videos this morning, and I was like, okay, I should probably try and get on. So I took a couple of trios and I've joined in.
Yeah.
So better is relative at the moment, but not too bad.
Trio can do the trick, but you know, one should be careful with this.
Yep, I won't be too late this evening.
Right.
How's it going then?
So it's okay. So I'm doing my best here, which isn't much, but I dove into. I came up with this brilliant idea to start working on smart contracts. So I have this function in my purchase or procurement contract that I'm working on because I want to have a use case. So basically, just to fill you in, I'm gonna give you a brief background story. So I have this smart contract that I wanted to build, and there are three stakeholders, right? The service provider, a buyer, and a smart contract. The service provider is like a company that provides some sort of services, and the buyer is the buyer. And the service provider issues a smart contract to the buyer, and the buyer orders a service, for instance, 10 hours of some development, and that initiates the entire process, right? Okay, so, and then the rest. Never mind that because we're not there yet, basically. So what I have now is a test that says that I have this describe block. The buyer can initiate the purchase process. So before that, I already I created the contract, which is like the subject. I just called it contract, so we know what
Yeah.
that is in focus. So I deployed this contract using the service provider, and it's the purchase contract, and I just pass in the buyer address, so we know that this particular contract is for this particular buyer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have this initiate function that should initiate the purchase process. That's where you place your order.
Yeah.
So we connect this buyer to this contract in test environment.
Yeah.
So we know that this initiate method will be invoked by him and not by, the default
Someone else. Yeah.
wallet that is being used here.
Yeah.
So that is okay. And then I just call this required service just to get that from the contract. And expected required service is this. And then we just basically we check, we make a few assertions. The first assertion is that the status of the contract should be initiated. It's initially when we deploy it, it's set to deployed, and then when we start the process, when the buyer does something, it changes to initiated.
Okay.
And then we just look at the required service, and that's an array. And we just assert that it's the service that is passed in, like the first index of this of the arguments that we're passing in. So that is all working. So we know that, and then in all of the other stuff, right? But then we want to write another test case, like if we have a random wallet, which is not one of the stakeholders, right?
Okay. Yeah.
He shouldn't be able to do this.
No.
Okay, so we connect the random wallet and we do the same thing as we did in the previous and all of the other stuff. And this is kind of passing, but this is not passing for me right now because of the fact that in Solidity you can use this thing, this command, assert that the message sender is the buyer address, which is how I make sure that this is actually what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
And if we just comment this out and revert back to a very, very simple if-else statement,
then it works.
If this is true, then do this, else I don't know what. I don't do anything yet, right?
Yeah.
So, but this will pass because it's a false positive.
Yeah.
Because we're not actually doing anything, or so I thought. Yeah, it was just.
Yeah, taking its time.
Well, promise then is not a function. What the fuck? Really? Well, that's weird. Because this was kind of passing before. Oh no. This is just badly written. So it's a matcher that I just
okay.
Yeah, but this will work. Saying that it just didn't change the status of this.
Okay. Yeah.
So this one should work. And so what I'm doing here is that I'm looking into the documentation for assert, then there is this revert, and then also require, which is like it raises an error, and that's all good. And but we don't know if it works or not, because if I use that, I'm getting an error stating. So let's comment this one again, and reinstate this thing that I want to use. Right. And I could just do basically what I want to do is to say require oh shit this, and then I have an error message here somewhere. No, I don't have an error message. I thought I had an error message. Yeah, exactly this one. You can't perform this operation. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But now when I run this, it tells me that it can't estimate gas price.
Uh-huh.
Because apparently you see, it wants to send this over the network, and it said cannot estimate gas transportation may fail or may require manual gas limit. I'm not very, into these things, so
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Gas.
But basically what we're doing is we're reverting, right?
Yeah.
And we're sending this data, which I guess will be displayed one way or another somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
But how the fuck do I set the gas price on this? I have no clue. And so now I don't know. Is it a test environment issue? Is it I'm using Hardhat. Hardhat is a development environment for blockchain or for smart contracts, or what is it? That's where I stand at this point.
Yes.
And so I get this. What does it say? It says VM exception while processing transaction, right?
Yeah.
So right. So let's see. Let's take a look at this. If somebody said something intelligent, that's a very nice Mac. I used to work. I was so. Side story. I had a friend when I grew up in Uppsala, and his father was. They lived in the better part of the city. In a big stone building, and they had a lot of cash, I guess. And that was back in the 80s, and his father was into computers, so he got himself a Mac Classic, and we were into role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons and shit like that. Right? So we actually produced a fanzine. A newspaper on a Mac Classic, because he had this what you see is what you get desktop publishing software kind of thingy.
Yeah.
And so we produced that on a Mac Classic, and I was so envy, like, oh, I want one of those. And the funny thing is that recently. So he went on to a career in as a diplomat, and he was in Kenya and in I guess in Nairobi somewhere for the Swedish State Department. And just a year ago or a year and a half ago, I found those magazines in a drawer somewhere, in a box. And so I took a photo of them and I sent them off to Matthias. Said, look, this is what we did. I think we produced like 2 or 3 issues. And one of them had a Conan Barbarian drawn by me on the cover, so I made the cover art for that one. So
awesome.
That was really cool. So anyway, Mac Classic. That's right. Revert market registered exposed. This is not the error that I'm getting. No, that's not the error I'm getting.
Out of gas.
Let's see if we can find out of gas. That's not what I
okay.
I'm getting. Invalid jump, revert something somewhere broke. What the fuck? Are you shitting me?
That's a great.
Right. Oh god. So how's your rock paper scissors going?
It's going all right. I don't know. It's coming along. It's a slow process. I haven't had much time this weekend because I've been dying. So that's why I'm gonna put a bit of time in. We work now this evening. We're going through what our plan for the week, and we'll be delivering that tomorrow, as you know.
Yeah.
So once I've finished being a rubber duck, I'll jump back to that and push through. I've started at about halfway through the logic part of it. I think I've got a good idea of how I want to put it all together. It's just putting it all together.
Mm-hmm. Good.
But I'm not a massive fan of the front end, so
but this is a simple one. This is so.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I get frustrated when things don't appear like I want to, and that's why I like the back end stuff, because it's databases, numbers, and logic, and that appeals to my brain.
I gotcha. Let's see. There is a. This is open. Let's see. We should have something about RPS here at Craft Academy.
Yeah.
Rock. No. RPS. No. No RPS. There should be something here. Build an ATM, simulate testing JavaScript, JS, read this. There we go.
Look at that there.
But this is pure JavaScript, so this is not. This is not. And there are no testing. It's just a game logic here. But you can definitely check this one out. This one is. Oh, what a dark fucking.
Look,
there I am.
it's a little Thomas up there in the corner.
It's from 2019. Oh shit.
Oh, when COVID wasn't a thing.
No, it was not. And I lived in my old apartment. Yeah, but so here we're using a switch case statement. I guess you can check this one out. It might. I mean, it could help you a little bit with.
Yeah, look at it, look over it, and double check with what I've put together. That's probably what mine's gonna look like when I put it together.
that's perfectly fine, you know. Right. So let's see if I can share. You can share this with the guys too. Like, look what I found. You know.
Exactly. Look what Thomas showed me yesterday.
Exactly. There we go.
No, we've been discussing the project. I think it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
I was like, you know, this morning when I had this introduction, I was like, "Where's Luke? He always asks me good questions, you know." And you were out sick, but I'm glad that you're back. I know that it's hard, you know.
It is what it is. I know. Yeah. It's just I'm just gonna fight through it. It's only what 8 weeks left, something like that. 7.
You know, you can't be sick for 8 weeks, though. You know.
No. What I meant is like I can rest afterwards.
Yeah. Right.
I think it's gonna be good.
It will be fine.
We also like agree that it feels a bit more sort of like a working environment, being such a big team doing one thing. Even though we're probably not going to get the first thing when we go to a work environment, being chucked into a nice new project, building it all ourselves.
But it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
I think that it was good that it's good that you get to try out things like this and you know enough, all of you, that you can pull this off. The question is, again, it's not about, you know, doing shit like this, coding and solving problems, which is of course also a good exercise in I guess something, I don't know what though, but like really making use of the things that you practice and actually build something together. That's the best thing, you know. So
we talked about making sure we were staying in scope.
That's the hardest part. Ask Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, we started talking and we started going off, and then we looked at the documentation like, oh, we don't need that, and we don't need that. It's out of scope. Okay, if we want to do it, we can put it in later, but we need to stick to the scope. And it's funny how quickly your brains can sort of run away without it to do things.
No, again, it's just check with. It's like, it's so funny because Lucas was recently in the course, right? And when I talk to him now, he goes like, now I understand, Thomas, what you were talking about. Now that, you know, but it comes with experience. It comes with experience. Right. I think we can pass in some stuff here with the but I don't know. With no access, you see, because he's doing exactly like here. Await, expect, you know. So we do credits, connect address 1, and then you say contract approve, and then you do something, and but you want to say to be reverted with no access, right? So where's the code? Why doesn't he show me the fucking code? And this is like January 2016. Are you shitting me? Were people doing this back in?
Yeah.
No. Go on and do your stuff. I will fix this.
I know.
Thanks.
It's just, you know, good to be a rubber duck and
I
poke
and I,
into.
I did, but you know that doesn't always.
No, it doesn't always
That
help,
doesn't always
but
help. But I
I
will fix it.
at least, I mean, I can go from
Yeah,
here
yeah.
and kind of understand what you're doing.
Yeah, but I feel bad holding you up, you know.
It's
So,
all good. It's,
so that's
I'm being agile.
that's good. That's good. That's good.
Okay, Thomas.
I see you tomorrow and
Yes.
I see that David is in the stream too.
Yeah.
I wonder why he's lurking in the background.
He's lurking. Yeah.
You should consider streaming this experience of yours.
Yeah, I need to set it up. For Linux. I downloaded it, but all my all the things I've had are in on the Windows side of the PC.
But you see, you know what I have at work? I have this this connector, so I connect my my Mac to my PC, and I stream from the PC.
Yeah, I mean, I stream from the same PC because I don't have I don't have a streaming PC at the moment.
Okay. No, but I was thinking that if you work on your Linux, you can stream from PC. You can connect your Linux to your PC. You know.
Well, the OBS works on Linux. I just need to set it up. I need to get got a USB somewhere that I can chuck my overlays and stuff on, so I can bring them over to the Linux side of things.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick your brain about that stuff like overlays and all of that shit later. But
there's so many different ones. There's so many things you can do, and it's. But I mean, yours is pretty good. It's it's simple. There's nothing so massive to it. I mean, you can get the pop-up things when people follow, and there's.
Yeah. I want something like that. And also, I need. Lucas told me yesterday that I should do something with my. With those channel points, you know, those things.
I haven't actually done any of that much with them yet, but you can do stuff. I mean, you can do silly things like I had one that said, hydrate. So someone clicked on it and they say, hydrate, and you're drunk. Just
we were hydrating yesterday. We had so Kim had he was drinking white wine, and I think Christer was of course drinking beer. Lucas was doing his vodka tonic, and I was doing my gin tonic. So
nice.
It was 11 o'clock, 11:30, something like that. All right, you stay
awesome.
cool. I'll talk to you later.
Tomorrow,
all right, cheers.
Bye.
Okay, let's see if we can. Okay, so we reverted or to be reverted. That's all good, but still, I am still in a bad place regarding this error message. Not sure why that is. So so we need to figure this one out. We need to figure this out. Gas report on reverted. What am I doing? No, I don't know. How the unit test function depends on hard coding. Deployed contract address. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Right. What else can I? From gas price. So let's have a. Is there anything else said about the token factory? Global variables that could cause a failure. There must be something in the construct. Could it be something in the constructor? But what could that be? So bum. Yeah, you can optionally provide a message string for require, but not for assert. Okay. Yeah. What if I just... No, but that has nothing to do with this. Function. Public payable. Could that be... Send half? Could that be... Could that be that? Initiate. External. Could that be that? Nope. No, because that would be... Mm-hmm. You can't revert it. There is no reverting. A direct revert can be... can we revert custom error? Buckets, revert functions. By if yeah, this is exactly what I was trying, and we get error unauthorized. Error unauthorized, but what address owner? What? Nah, come on. Address owner and not. But that's it doesn't seem to be my problem is that it cannot estimate gas. Why cannot estimate gas? Why? And you know, I bet that the solution will be extremely simple when I just find it. Just set your gas limit. But what? It was to store one value in a slot. It goes to load one value from a storage slot. Gas reference work in the center. Yes, set high limit that data scan shows, because let's say your contract needs at the storage is releases the scan will show that right. If there's anybody that has anything on estimating gas, please let me know, because I'm running into an error that I just can't really get that. I understand that, but can I just on requirements? When am I getting this error with the following message? The execution will likely fail. And he's doing if throw. This is old, right? Okay, because this is old syntax for because apparently throw has been deprecated. This is a very generic remix error message project that I'm seeing a new error message. Right, require this. Message sender equals a I needed to found my contract. What does that even mean, people? So, does the product exist? Right, so seller ID. Oh, wow. Require amount. Yeah, okay, so we have a lot of require here, which is totally okay. I can still send and deploy, I guess, and even though I did say the transaction will likely, but I want to make sure that the code is bug free. The constructor was passing the same account address as I was using for deploying. Adding the minter role to myself. Really? Right. I won't be able to fix this, which is bugging the shit out of me, you know? This is old stuff. But the thing is that the 2 is totally empty. So that's also weird, right? This is the problem here, that right. So how about we comment this one out just for and open this one, and then we just do this, and we actually say await here. So we need to set this one to async, and we get this will fail because that's not the error message. Well, actually the error message is this. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's the same thing. Manual gas limit. And why would this be? That's not cool. Not cool at all. Hello, Ricky 002. Well, that's yes, I am. I am definitely not a professional programmer in terms of smart contracts, and that's what I'm trying to learn. Thank you for the follow, though. So in many contexts I am, but definitely not in this context. And I am trying to solve a problem with a smart contract that I have, and I have an error that I can't really explain. What smart contracts are? Well, that's a very good question, and you're the second or actually third person today that asks me that question. Not in stream, but in general. Smart contracts are a hard thing to explain with few words, and I generally say that if you can't explain it in a simple way, then you probably don't understand it properly. But the way I look at it, it's a way to store data and functionality in software in the blockchain, so it becomes accessible, open, and also immutable, so you can't change it. You can just encapsulate business logic in those contracts. But it's really hard for me to explain that, and I guess the best way for me to explain is to tell you what I'm building. I am building a way for a seller of services and buyers of services to connect and regulate what, all the events that may happen in the process of purchasing something. The price, the delivery, the approval, the payout, and all of that stuff. So you kind of encapsulate all of that functionality into this contract. That what you see on screen now is just the very, very beginning of this thing, because I'm trying to learn as I move forward. The language is JavaScript. The framework is called Solidity, and but it is basically JavaScript flavor thing. It contains a lot of JavaScript, I would say, definitely, but it has its own twist on certain things, I would say. And what is your profile? Are you a professional programmer, or are you learning? Are you giving up on coding, or what's up? Balance, provider, organize account balance, secret key, private key, provider, it's an empty wallet, deploy contract, basic wallet, right, that doesn't help me anyway. The contract information can be one of the following: standard contract, JSON, ABI, any. Oh, you're a composer, music. I'm I salute you. I personally I'm personally not at all into music. I think I would say that I'm tone deaf, but we all have our different talents, I guess. And yes, there's a lot of things going on in the music, you know, uh, in terms of digitalization. So you should definitely pick it up. Coding is great. It's a creative endeavor too, one way or another. But um, it can be very frustrating also. Bytecode EVM, bytecode object, any standard can be one of them. Well, it depends a little bit what you want to do. Um, if you're into, well, actually, I do have a lot of things to say about that because I also teach people to code. I operate a coding bootcamp in Sweden. Um, so if you're into web development, then you should definitely, if you want to get started, you should definitely get into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's always a good start for anything that you want to do in this industry. Definitely. So I would encourage you to check out some free courses. Yeah, well then data science would be the path to go, and I would probably look into some university studies, and get into that. And if this is what you want to do, then the web development is definitely not the thing. Python, I would say Python, if you want to go into these kind of things, or Java, C Sharp, things like that. It's hard to say. I am not. I am not that. I'm into web development, usually back-end stuff. Well, again, I don't think I possess. The answer is yes, but I do not think I possess the necessary skills for you to. I don't think I can help you with your end game. With what you want to achieve. But there are plenty of resources. Receiver address check to equal true. I wouldn't like to, take on a thing that I can't really, like an assignment that I can't really deliver good quality in. Whereabouts do you live, Ricky? Let's see, fixtures. Require. No. Oh, Rome is a fantastic city. It's a great city. I live in Gothenburg in Sweden. Revert. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. Wallet 2. To be reverted. Expect balance of to be called on contract with token colon revert, testing if a transaction was reverted. Okay, that's exactly what I'm doing. Token transfer wallet to address. So can we do await on before that? Is that what we're doing? No, I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can do that. Are you shitting me? Oh man. Oh my god. We just got this to work, or what are you talking? What are you saying? So, oh no. Async. No. That's not gonna. This can't be this. It can't be that. If this is the case, this is the shittiest fucking framework ever. No, fuck. Contract is not defined. Can we just do it here? Status of undefined. What do you do? What of undefined? Where is the status? Await. So no. Let's have a look. Set to remain. Expected set remain. Status of undefined. So that's not gonna. No, but this. No. No. Have you ever been to Sweden, Ricky? But this is like. This is not gonna happen. This is not gonna happen. And we get the same error again that we can't. Yeah. So we don't know. So we could, in principle, just go with this in test environment. Yeah. 1 hour and 40 minutes into the stream and I got it to work. Well, that was a bit of a problem now, wasn't it? And I'm not even sure whether this is the proper way. Right. To change it. That sucks big time. That really sucks big time. Right, I think we're gonna call it a day, folks. We're not gonna. I'm not even sure if this is a false positive or not. I guess it isn't, but I don't know. To be reverted with. Let's see if we can just do this. Run the whole thing. Right. Right. So there's a definite problem with executing that in a before block, if that is supposed to expect to change that. Change token, but change token expect to be a proper address, proper private key, that's proper hex. Okay, right, this is not this is not cool. Open Zeppelin. Third party. One of the nice things enables you to import third party. Right. Now let's just take a look at this one, and let's just no, we can just do it like this for now. I think we should be okay. Console. This is giving me a really hard time. One thing, I can go on for 15 more minutes. So what if we do events? Can we do something about events here? Emitting events. And what is an event? Contract to emit contract, add address. So let's just figure out Solidity events. What could events be used for? Event is an inheritable member of a contract. An event is emitted. It stores the arguments passed in transaction logs. These logs are stored on blockchain and are accessible using address of the contract till the contract is presented on the blockchain. An event generated is not accessible from An event generated is not from within contract, not even the one would have created and emitted them. Deposit. Try the following to understand how the events, right? So, like test deposit address indexed from bytes, right? Function deposit bytes public payable emit ID message value address indexed from address index from index ID unit value. But how can we then access the contracts event in JavaScript or Abby was generated using a client received web 8 contract right. So if we just go to ethos JS events ethos JS, right? So logs to simply explain here the contract API. New contract as contract field is transfer my address. Right. Okay. So events will be my next topic. We will just make sure to commit this git status. Right, git add everything, git ci am if adding require conditional and for write sender refactors test to actually test the functionality. Right, but we do not know. Not sure if we get a false positive. Right, that's what we're gonna. Right. So git status again. Right, so git push origin purchase order contract. All right, I think we are good to go. This is the repository, and here we are testing those contracts, and we should be good to go on this one. This is what we came up with for in 1 hour and 50 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 lines of code, 5, depending on how you count. Awesome. And I was hoping for some nice recreational coding. Anyway, thank you very much for following today's stream or tonight's stream. I see you when I see you. Have a fantastic evening, day, morning, whatever you are in the world. You could have been anywhere, but you were here, and I do appreciate that. Thank you. Stay cool.